Hey, it's your astro bestie, Chani Nicholas, and this is the Astrology of the Week Ahead podcast. Hey, y'all, I'm so glad you're joining me. I am actually oddly excited about this week's astrology. Maybe that is the worst thing I could say about a week where Mercury stations retrograde, but we're going to try it. We're going to go with it. It's a new moon week. So on one hand, we have some very exciting new energy coming into the week, and it's happening at the end of the week. And at the same time, on the same day, Mercury is stationing retrograde. So we know two things for sure. There's something new that we are beginning, and it is very much about our ability to show up as the leaders that we want to be, that we want to see in the world. It is about activating our own leadership energy. And we're going to do a very, very, very important and thorough review of something else in our life. We are going to see where things are broken. We are going to get the chance to fix what never was going to work. And we are going to be, bear with me, grateful for the opportunity to do so. Because the quicker we know that something isn't working, the quicker we fix something, the faster we have a better functioning system as a whole. And that's what Mercury retrogrades are really about. Also, I will say that on Sunday, as Mercury is stationing retrograde, Venus is also going to enter Virgo, where Mercury is stationing retrograde. And they're going to end up having a little moment. And so I do think that in one corner of our life, the review that we're about to do in this section of time from August 4th to August 14th, I'm not talking about after August 14th, because who knows. But from August 4th to August 14th, you can mark your calendars. I do think that there's going to be something helpful, really helpful, you're about to go out into the spotlight and have your picture taken, and someone's like, you have lettuce in your teeth, and you fix it. And then you get to go out and have pictures without lettuce in your teeth. Like that kind of vibe. I'm talking Venus in conjunction with Mercury. So maybe it's aesthetically we get to fix something. I don't know. Bear with me. Okay, so we are going to think of the first part of this Mercury retrograde as friendly. We're going to think of it as encouraging us to course correct while there is still time. We are going to think of this first part of Mercury's retrograde, which again doesn't start until Sunday, the 4th of August, but we will be feeling it throughout the week. We're going to think of it as a reminder to make sure that we've checked everything. Do you have all the things that you need for the day? Or are you going to forget something and have to circle back around and go back home and waste a half an hour or spend a half an hour to go get it? That happened to me the other day. And I only got a couple of blocks before a voice in my head, my being, said, do you have everything? Do you really are you really prepared for this day? And I stopped on the street and I opened up my backpack and I looked through everything. And sure enough, I had forgotten something that was major. And without it, I wouldn't have been able to do my work for the day. So I only lost 10 minutes. And I want us to think of this Mercury retrograde exactly like that. Yeah, we're going to forget things. There's going to be little bumps here and there. But I want us to listen to that voice, that friendly little voice that's hey, perhaps maybe something's not totally fully here, or you haven't gotten everything that you need. Can you double check? And as you double check and as you work with this energy in this moment, I think you'll feel whew, thank gosh, I got a chance to course correct as early as possible. That's how we're going to feel about August. Thank goodness we got to course correct as early as possible. Not this shouldn't have happened, And I mean, maybe in some cases you'll be like, this mistake never should have happened. And so therefore I'm going to course correct so it doesn't happen again at some other point. And that's also good. Like, thank goodness I now have this checklist to go down next time I do this so that I will be ahead of the game even more next time. And I want us to think about that in our personal life, but I also want us to think about that collectively in terms of whatever it is that's going on right now in whatever part of the world you're living in. What are we learning to course correct on? What are we catching right now that's like, okay, wish I would have known that before, but we still have time. We still have time to make this work. We can still save this. Okay, so that's one theme that we've got going throughout this week and also next week. The other theme that we've got starts on Friday and it carries through to Sunday, and it's happening in Leo on Friday, which is the first moment of like planetary action besides the moon doing its thing. Friday is the first big piece of astrology. So again, most of the week we'll be feeling two things. We'll be feeling the upcoming Mercury retrograde. We'll be feeling the closing down of the last lunar cycle. So we'll be like focusing. It's good to focus on like emptying out throughout the week. Like, what can I let go of? What is no longer needed here? What can I just let calm down and drop away? On Friday, Venus, planet of cohesion, social cohesion and connection, also justice, equity, relationships, love, and beauty, makes a square, incredibly disruptive, activating square to Uranus. And it asks us to break up with any people-pleasing habits on a personal level. And it also might be a moment of collective disruption. Because again, Venus is a planet of social cohesion and justice and what is fair and what is going to bring us together. And when it's making a square with Uranus, it's like, no, I'm not. I'm going to be absolutely authentic. This is a moment where I need to flip this table. This is a moment where I need to swing from the chandeliers. This is a moment where I'm not actually going to go along with everything. I don't care who is comfortable and who is not. This is a moment where I need to be absolutely true. And that's actually the only place that we can have a real relationship from. So I mean that collectively and also personally. So I expect that going into this week, there will be some kind of disruption, especially again, as we get to the end of the week. It's also going to be disruptive collectively for Venusian type issues. Again, justice, peace. So it's like a disturb the peace kind of signature, but also people that signify Venus. So women, femmes, LGBTQ folks, also like artists and people that create beauty. So again, harmony is disrupted. There's something new that is wanting to burst forth or something that we're wanting to break up with that we've done traditionally, especially in terms of like keeping the peace. So just prepare for a little bit of turbulence. And that signature also kind of folds into this new moon. So the new moon in Leo occurs on Sunday, the 4th of August. And Venus has just made that square to Uranus. So yes, it is a disruptive signature. And we can think of it in one way as breaking up with any kind of people-pleasing that we might have been embroiled in or that we might do habitually. But also, this new moon is sitting in a very supportive sextile to Jupiter. So there is the power of the sun. New moon happening in Leo is going to be very solar in nature. So it's going to be about our sense of self and a ability to shine and yes, an ability to lead. And then it's getting a boost from Jupiter, which is a planet that helps us to develop a expansive sense of self in this setup. And also it helps to engender a type of positivity about our leadership. So I think that this is an exceptionally confident mark. again, there's going to be disruption on the way into the new moon, but this is a new moon to really foster self-confidence and our ability to show up in moments that feel incredibly messy, maybe even out of control, maybe even moments that seem absolutely impossible or are impossible, and to still act with confidence in ourselves, to still show up as, like I said last week, and I'll say in your readings for the next couple of weeks, the leaders that we most want to be in the world, no matter what is happening. Because I'll tell you something, the astrology of August, especially a little closer to mid-August, is wildly messy and unwilling to go in one direction. There's going to be, and there might even be by the time you're listening to this, just a tremendous amount happening in a way that is very distracting and in a way that renders us feeling like, what is the direction to go in then? What is the way forward? Where are we meaning to go? And how would we get there? So bearing that in mind, I think it's really important to be the center of the storm. Like, we want to be in the center of the storm, but we also have to be the center of the storm. Like, we have to be in our center as much as is possible, especially through this next chunk of August. I'm recording this in the past. It's June where I am. I have no idea what has literally transpired come August, come the end of July. But the astrology says that it's wild. Maybe you're going to hear unprecedented. Maybe you're going to hear a lot of things that feel like a tornado, feel like a very soupy mix of situations. It's a very mixed bag. There is no one way to go. There is no even right, quote unquote, way to go. I mean, I hope we all get to the thing we feel is the right thing to do. But the situation in general is just a little bit of a chaotic time period. Again, especially that very midsection, like August 10th, 11th to like August 20th. That midsection of August is like, that's not astrology I would have picked or put together. I wouldn't pay for it, wouldn't buy it, even if it was on sale. But we're going to live through it. And we're going to get through it by being as true to ourselves, our morals, our values, being our own moral compass. And I think this new moon is the perfect opening for that, the recommitment to that. What is meaningful to me? What is valuable to me? How do I center all of my actions around those things? What is my priority right now? And how do I just keep showing up as confidently as possible for that priority, for those priorities? And then go from there and see what that changes for you. We are not going to expect the world to be different, but we are going to show up how we want to show up in the world. We are going to show up for the world that we are building towards. We are going to show up for the world that is yet to arrive, but that we know is possible once we all collectively, in solidarity, show up for it and show up for each other as we make it. Thank you all so much for leaving us reviews in the App Store. I know that every single moment of your life is very precious and how you spend it is also. So spending some time thinking about writing and posting a review is a huge blessing for us, and we do not take it for granted. I wanted to leave you with this one. It's called Worth the Money. I have been on the Chani app for over a year, and I just decided to upgrade. I love it. This app has so many benefits to my daily life, from offering a good approach to mindset and mindfulness to meditation and more. I love the astrology aspect, but I love the balance of this app the most. Thanks, Chani. All right, y'all. I'm sending you a lot of love, many blessings. Remember, Sunday, Mercury stations, retrograde. It's going to add to shenanigans. But I do think that these first 10 days of it until August 14th, there are some very helpful course corrections. So we are going to be very mindful of the edits we receive and just be as grateful as possible for them. And just to keep the things moving that we can move and to review the things that need to be reviewed. And we are not going to try to rush things or push things. We delay things at our company during a Mercury retrograde as much as is possible. We use the Mercury Cazimi sometimes. We're not going to use this one. It's on the 18th of August. It's exactly square Uranus. It is a moment of clarity. There will be a moment of shocking clarity on the 18th of August, but we'll talk about that a little later. All right, y'all. Next week is actually fairly, I'm not going to say easy, but it's fairly low key in terms of the astrology. But the week after, the week of August 12th is where things really get compact. The week of August 12th and the week of August 19th, they get compact, they get challenging, they get messy, things go everywhere all at once. And next week is simple, astrologically speaking, but I want us to just keep in mind that we need to be as spacious and as patient as possible because of the astrology of the 2 weeks following that. And the cute moments of astrology that I'm talking about on Sunday, they perfect or they complete next week. So there's some really good stuff to work with next week that begins on Sunday and it kind of like moves through till next Wednesday. So come back and we'll talk more about that then. I'm sending you lots of love, many, 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 many blessings. New moon blessings. Go forth and be confident. Bye for now.